one of these teams be out of it because of it? We're going to find out. It's the Orioles on Masson, and another 4-game set. This time it's the New York Yankees coming to town to take on the Orioles. Obviously decisive games regarding who's going to go to the postseason. For the Orioles, it's that coin that's got two sides. They've got some tough games to play with 20 left to go. But the flip side of it is they're all against the teams they need to beat because they're all division games. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. And a big 4-game set against the Yankees here at Camden Yards begins tonight. And for the Orioles, the games remaining, let's take a look at the teams they play and what they've done against them this season. They have the games left against the Yankees, 4 of them here. The run differential against New York in that season series is a +7. Against the other teams they'll play, the Jays, the Red Sox, and the Rays, the Orioles have that 6-7 mark against Toronto, 7-6 against Boston, and 6-9 against Tampa Bay. And against all 3, the run differential is a minus at this point. So, simply put, the Orioles have got to play better against the East than they have so far this season.
Yeah, and they're 27-29, so 2 games under 500. Pitching's been good this month, 4-4 record, but the ERA under 3 runs a game. And then we're all talking about the fact they're, 5 for their last 53 with runners in scoring position. As Adam Jones said, we're getting them on. Hopefully they'll start getting them in.
It's another one of those coins that has 2 sides. Yeah. Love getting them on, but you got to get them home. That's what they're going to try and do tonight. Friends still, even with all that going on. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Summer-like day here in Baltimore today. Few clouds have moved in tonight. Our train game time temperature 79 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And right now, no breeze here at the ballpark. Train is celebrating its 100th anniversary by offering irresistible financing. It is hard to stop a train. Really hard. Take a look at the New York Yankees lineup. It'll be Gardner, Rodriguez, Cano, Soriano, Grandison, and Nunez, Overbay, Ichiro, and Romine. Cano this season has really had to carry this ball club, and he has.
And our scouting report, Chris Tillman, 15-5. Same old, because you really don't want to change a whole lot. controls the running game well. If you go all the way back to when he came to the big leagues, really fully last year, that was right around the All-Star break, a little bit before. 24-8. Only Max Scherzer with a better record. Home run derby. You have two pitchers. CC Sabathia with 28, Chris with 27, 20 of them here, and then life lessons. Boy, he's become the #1 starter. He's already, or he's on the verge of pitching as many innings collectively as he did all of last season. So again, he's the ace, and again, he's really handled himself well. I mean, one terrific job for the Orioles this year.
And obviously, the big ball games roll on here for the Orioles. And for the O's against the Yankees, they have the season series edge. 8-7. They are 5-1 against the Yankees here at Camden Yards this year. And it'll be Brett Gardner who will lead it off. Their center fielder with speed. Matty Machado will move in. Gardner's a hot bat in this lineup that continually has been juggled this season. And he's hitting .394, 9 RBIs, 6 doubles, 2 triples. Gardner's numbers over the last 9 games. It is the hottest streak he has had this season. And he will take the pitch on the inside corner.
Yeah, he was a double machine up in New York. And then, of course, when he gets on, great speed. And he can hit doubles, as you mentioned. 23 stolen bases, only been caught 8 times. Plus defender in the outfield.
1-1 off-speed pitch is going to miss up high. Gardner's got a 3-for-12 lifetime against the Orioles starter. Tillman on the mound this season against the Yankees, a win and a loss. Overall, he's gone 3-4 against them. 9 career starts, 7.43 ERA against the Yankees. Good pitch that was kept down and away from Gardner in the 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yep. That is the equalizer for Chris Tillman. The fastball, curveball, occasional slider, cutter, not a good one. But the changeup, boy, really slows the bat down. Fastball count. No idea it was coming. Really sold it well.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be up and in. So Gardner will work the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes against Tillman. Rodriguez hitting in the number 2 hole in this ball game for the Yankees, and then Robinson Cano in that 3 spot for Joe Girardi's team. He's managed more players this year than any manager ever, and he got him. Called strike that Gardner didn't like. Turns around and says so to Ed Hickox.
Well, you find out right away where the strike's going to be. I mean, this is right around the knees. High socks. So it could have been low. Yeah, probably was. But it's, tell you what, it is a tough pitch to take. We'll take a look at the increasing strikeouts coming up, because, again, he's got a changeup. Throws his curveball over about 50% of the time. But right there, borderline pitch goes Chris Tillman's way. The Yankees don't like it.
And the pitch to A-Rod will be taken up high for a ball. Ed Hickox, home plate umpire, noted for being more of a hitter's umpire. Tends to have a fairly consistently small strike zone. 8 years in the majors for Hickox. You want to be careful when you argue with him, because he's a sworn police officer, works for the Daytona Pete Shores Police Department. So you might want to, if you're a manager or a player, think twice. Here's the 2-0 delivery to Rodriguez. Goes after one that was away, and he'll foul it back into the seats.
Yeah, Alex saw 2-0 and swung at a ball out of the zone. Nice little break.
So Rodriguez getting his 26th start at third base. Unusual be hitting in the number 2 hole, but he is 4 for 7 with a couple of home runs against Tillman. So Girardi wanted to get those kind of numbers up in the lineup. 2-1 delivery and a swing and a miss. And Girardi indeed has he's managed more players than any other Yankee manager ever. They have used more this year, more position players, a league high of 32 position players this season. 54, a franchise record in players used this year. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Rodriguez. Take that one in the air to right field, and it's deep, and it's back, and goodbye home run. Alex Rodriguez delivers his 3rd career home run against Chris Tillman, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he belted that. Ran into him down on the field before the game. He said, I said, how you doing? He goes, I'm starting to feel better. And this ball is, see, that's a fastball. You can see it's in the middle of the plate. Camden Yards, hitter friendly. You don't have to pull it. You can shoot it the other way. He knows off the bat it's gone. but he's going to run it out because if it hit the scoreboard, it could have been just a double.
An opposite field home run, and the Yankees get the early lead. Rodriguez now with 5 home runs and 11 RBIs, and this is his 30th game. He has played well offensively for this ball club since getting back with the team, despite all that went on both before he got here and after. And here's Robinson Cano. Cano has an amazing 500 average against Chris Tillman. He's 11 for 22 with 2 home runs. And the pitch is going to be taken down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cano, of course, against the Orioles has always been a tough out. He's hitting .333 against the Orioles this year, 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. While his name may not be prominent in MVP discussions, you have to talk about Cano because of the case that's made when you look at all the Yankees who weren't available and what he had to do this season to really carry the ball.
Yeah, he's been the sun with all the little planets going around him.
Yeah.
Joe Girardi's had to bring in some from the solar system to try to surround him.
That'll be up high to him, and he's going to get ahead of the count on the fastball, 3-1.
Yeah, I think what we saw in Chris's last game, that was against the Indians. It didn't score him any run. He gave up 4 runs, but he did walk 5. Command wasn't what it has been pretty much all year long, and that could be, as we mentioned, life lessons is how do you take care of yourself as your innings at this level. You know, last year he only pitched like 88 innings in the big leagues, about 88 in the minors. Now coming in, he was like now what at 173 at this level in a pennant race. Maybe you throw a few less pitches. You got to make better pitches and just have to make adjustments. That's part of being young and pitching at this level.
Tillman with the 3-2 delivery to Cano, and he will foul that one off, and that got a piece of him. They've caught him around the knee on that foul ball.
Yeah, big curveball. First one he's thrown over, and actually got him in the rear end. I think it was more the swing. I don't think it was the ball because it went down.
It's funny because Jim Presley and I today, the Orioles hitting coach, just for fun, I said, Press, how many swings do you think a guy takes in the course of a year, both in batting practice and in games? So we started totaling him up. We came up with 19,240 swings for a player in a season. That's batting practice, that's in the cage, and that's in games. An extraordinary number. And when we were talking about how can a body take that, because it's not just swings. I mean, the torque that's put on a body is enormous. It tells you something about the condition you got to be in to play this game.
Right, and it also tells you why there's so many injuries.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, guys starting their swing, stopping their swing. I mean, the torque, the
put up in the air, that'll be to left field. Morris is there, and he's got it. Cano's out.
Now take a look at the Orioles defense, still the best in baseball. Morris instead of McLaughlin left. Jones, a couple of Gold Gloves. Markakis with 1. Machado on his way to 1. Hardy won it last year. Casilla, because he wears out. Sabathia is in at second. Chris Davis playing like a Gold Glove first baseman, and Matt Wieters, a couple of Gold Gloves in his trophy case catching tonight for the Orioles.
So Tillman gets the out. There are 2 down. Here's Alfonso Soriano. Soriano batting cleanup. He'll come in with a 4-game hit streak. You see the big numbers that he has put up on the year, power numbers, and even more so since he has joined this ball club. 0-1 delivery outside. This is for Soriano, game number 94. He's hitting .254 as a Yankee with 17 home runs and 51 RBIs. What a difference he has made when they needed it most. And he'll swing over the top of that one, 1-2. See the most home runs since July 26 coming to the Yankees. He's got 13. Cabrera, then Chris Davis and Adam Jones both with 11.
Yeah, and they were coming off they were coming off 11 and 16 June before he got there. The end of the.
And he'll take it up high.
And 14 and 12 in July and August. That was their best month. 16, actually, the best month was before a lot of guys got hurt. 16 and 10 in April, and then 16-12 in August.
2-2 delivery, and he got him. So Tillman will get a couple of strikeouts, but Rodriguez will get the home run. And as we go to the bottom half of the first inning, the Yankees take the early lead. The Orioles tonight against the Yankees. Markakis, Machado, and Jones. Davis, Valencia is red hot. Hardy, Morse, Wieters, and Casilla is red hot against Sabathia. Manny Machado this year, major league lead in doubles, and the other numbers real good.
And our scouting report, 33-year-old left-hander out of Vallejo, California, well winning, 204, 113. 3.60 ERA, 18-5 against the Orioles, 10-4 here at Camden Yards. But since he was 10-1, he is 0-3, so a mere mortal. And then right-handed trouble. Told you about the home runs. Righties at 278, 23 home runs.
Nick Markakis leads it off against him. There are the numbers.
So he's 1-4 out of 5. That hits more than innings pitched. Velocity down a little bit. Loves the slider because it's very effective. Has a changeup and occasional curveball.
And Markakis will take the pitch for a strike. Nick back in the leadoff spot with a 3-game hit streak. 269 on the year, which just happens to be the same number that he has against Sabathia lifetime. 269 and 1 home run. 1-1 delivery to him. Markakis takes it on the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, so that's 3 straight fastballs. And this, what isn't this the year anniversary, I think, that he got plunked?
Yes.
So one thing Nick does, and you can see the numbers leading off, he does hang in there against lefties.
1-2 delivery on the way to him, and Markakis will ground that one foul. This is the injury a year ago that would keep Nick Markakis out of the postseason. It was a year and 1 day ago that CC Sabathia rode a pitch in, and that ended Nick's season. And he missed the postseason, and obviously a real disappointment both for him and for the Orioles. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Markakis will take it inside. Asked today again, Buck Showalter, do you think Sabathia threw at him intentionally? And he said, with malice, of course not. Pitchers have to come inside if you're going to be successful. And if you miss by 2 or 3 inches, you're going to hit somebody. And he said that's what happened. 2-2 breaking ball put up in the air to right field. He got pretty good wood on that. Back near the warning track in the wall. That'll take a bounce. And Nick Markakis will get a double. Just missed the home run as Ichiro and Gardner trying to get there, and it landed right in between them in the warning track up and over.
Well, he has not been hitting for extra bases, either doubles or home runs. This is the first slider, and you could see him stay through it, stays up enough. You're playing shallow, can't get there. Ball bounces into the stands, ground rule double. So that's pretty much about your defense, but he hit it well. Love to see some bat speed. So now it's even though it's early in the game, you've been struggling for runs. You've been winning because you played the White Sox. The Yankees are not the White Sox.
The Orioles come into this game 5th in the league in doubles as a team. And bunting to move them up. A-Rod coming. The only plays at first. So the Orioles will play it small to begin as Manny Machado will pick up the sacrifice. That is his 9th of the year.
Yeah, and he may have done that on his own. You know, he can hit the ball the other way so well. You very rarely, and I saw this when Orioles had some of their best clubs. I mean, he's a very good bunter. And you can see it right here. So in this league against the Yankee team, even though they lost 3 out of 4 against the Red Sox, they did score 8 runs or more in their first 3 games, even though they lost them all. So there's your sacrifice. You don't see that in the American League very often.
And Buck Showalter's not a real a manager who favors that either. I agree with you. I think probably Manny did that on his own. Now with a runner at third base, here is Adam Jones. Jones going for the RBI, and he'll put it up in the air. He's going to get it. Gardner in center field, tagging up. Gardner comes in on it. Here's the throw coming into the plate, and not in time. Markakis scores. Orioles come right back and tie the ball game up. That is a manufactured run, with the RBI going to Jones, his 102nd run batted in.
Yeah, pretty good track right here. Very quick throw, maybe an extra step. And then Nick underneath the tag. Romine trying to sweep it. So you made it easier for Adam, and he did exactly what you want to do. Try to get a pitch up in the zone, get the ball deep enough that you can tie the game up.
That ties him for 3rd in the league in RBIs with Edwin Encarnacion. They both have 104. Cabrera leads 133. So the Orioles come right back, make it a 1-1 ball game, and here is Chris Davis. Davis batting cleanup in this one with his 48 major league leading home runs. His 124 RBIs. Our second in the American League, only 2 Cabrera. 1-0 delivery on a breaking ball is in there for a strike. There's Manny Machado, who set it up with a sacrifice after the Markakis leadoff double, and another sac fly department for Jones.
Now you can put Bunning down on the other list of the many things he can do. Take a look at the Yankee defense. Third best percentage. Soriano, Gardner, and Suzuki. Soriano doesn't throw well. Gardner and Suzuki, especially Ichiro, have great arms. A-Rod, Nunez, Cano, a couple of Gold Gloves, Overbay, and then Austin Romine, pretty good throwing catcher behind the plate.
Sabathia with the 1-2 delivery on the way, and Davis reaching, fouls it off, and that will end up in the seats. The Yankees have the full shift on against Davis. The White Sox, as we noted, in that 4-game series just completed, did not put this full shift on. They kept their shortstop over on the shortstop side of the bag. But the only team this year to do that against Chris Davis. Davis with a 1-2. Breaking ball will be inside. Chris has had 4 hits and 14 at-bats lifetime off Sabathia, including 1 home run. Sabathia against the Orioles, coming in here, his 30th career start and his 5th this year against the O's. He is 2-1 against Baltimore this season. And a swing and a foul tip. Sabathia in April got a win in a 5-2 game, 2 runs, 8 hits over 8. He in May gave up 4 runs, 11 hits, and 6 in the third, and he was non-decisioned in that one.
That ball, I think, went up in his jersey.
Yeah, I think it did. Don't see that very often.
Well, usually he's kind of unbuttoning his uniform, swinging at a ball, but right here it just kind of gets right under the O. Perfect.
Let's see you do that. All of you out there, give it a try. And the 2-2 delivery fastball is going to come inside.
That's a nice take right there. And then one of those months where strikeouts are coming up a little bit. 11 and 30 at bats, so you take that pitch, maybe you'll get a better one to hit here.
2 delivery. Davis again will follow that,
which he did actually, but fouled it off.
And Sabathia with a slider on that pitch. Count will stay at 3-2.
Well, you want to make them work, and the Orioles have done a pretty nice job. You can see the last 5 starts, the numbers coming up, and part of it is just having quality at bats. Get the pitch count up, and now it's 16 here in the first inning already.
3-2 delivery. Davis again. This one A-Rod will give chase on, but again it will end up in the seats, and souvenirs down the left field line galore on the 3-2 count to Chris Davis.
Well, Alex Rodriguez, he came up as a shortstop, and that's where he's playing in this shift. But it's a long way to the seats.
A-Rod back out, the only one on that side of the infield. Sabathia will try it again. 2 down, 3-2 delivery. Davis to first and foul. To Davis with a long at bat here, one of the longer that he's had this season. And that will send Romine out to talk to Sabathia about what they want to do here.
Well, in the old days when you're throwing, and he used to throw 98. You can trust your fastball a lot better. It doesn't mean you can't get guys out with your fastball, but you better get it in good positions. And there's Larry Rothschild, the Yankee pitching coach. Boy, all kinds of injuries over the last week or so.
Davis, broken bat. That goes to right. Ichiro will come in, get under it, and put it away. So the Orioles are retired, but each team able to get on the board with that straight number. It is 1-1 going to the second. Now, between innings, both managers went at it, had to be restrained by the umpires. As Buck Showalter came out, and he's coming out again, hollering at Girardi. I mean, screaming at him. This now is what happened between innings. Like he was talking, Showalter was saying Girardi was talking to somebody, apparently an Oriole, and he said, don't talk to him that way. And then Girardi came out of the dugout with Tony Pena with him. And I mean, Buck Showalter, you see how hot he is. He was livid. And that's how close they got. This is between innings now. Now, they stayed at it for a bit. Both teams drifted onto the field a little. Now, this is live. You see Jim Joyce is the first base umpire and the crew chief having a discussion. We don't know who Girardi may have been talking to that so bothered Buck Showalter.
And I'm not sure. It could have even been Ed Hickox who had called the questionable pitch on Barber, and maybe he was lobbying. I mean, Buck likes things certain ways, and he doesn't even like when hitters will ask where the pitch was. He doesn't think the umpires need to tell him that. But this seemed to be more with Joe Girardi, Buck Showalter.
So that's interesting. First inning, game 1 of 4.
Well, that's right. Just in case neither of these teams was up for this contest, the manager will make sure. Right.
That's the way it's the way it ought to be. I mean, they're into this thing, and every little thing is going to matter because every little thing does. All right, we go to the second inning, 1-1 ball game. Curtis Granderson, Tillman's breaking ball, will be up high. Granderson is the designated hitter in this game. Of course, Buck, former manager in New York, and enjoys nothing more than beating the Yankees. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. That'll be on the inside corner. Granderson taking there. There are the numbers on the season. He's gone 3 for 11 against Tillman in his career. 1-1 pitch on the way, broken bat into the shift. That's why you play it. The C is right there in shallow right field. Otherwise, that's a dying quail base hit.
Yeah, you make a pretty good pitch. Granderson's really been struggling. Won for his last 17 now. There's a lot of injuries this year. The broken on the first at bat against J.A. Happ. That happened in spring training. That was his right wrist, and he broke his hand. But the bat speed, at least the home run's not there. But this is a guy that, as we all know, can 43 home runs, 41 home runs each of the last 2 years.
Jeter, of course, is out with that ankle that he had the surgery on, acting up on him. And they're not saying it's the end of the season for Derek Jeter. There he is in the dugout, but certainly not playing, and no reason to believe he'll be in the lineup anytime soon. So Nunez is back at short, and he's got a base hit. Nunez with the 1-out single off Tillman here in the second inning, right straight back through the box. Buckle back up as the Orioles continue their series with the Yankees tomorrow through Thursday here at Camden Yards. Don't miss Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Every Tuesday home game, all upper reserve, only $9 in advance. Back the Birds. Tickets 888-848-BIRD, to go to Orioles.com. Well, that'll be hit number 2 for the Yankees. Buck settles back down, and Girardi usually stays right there on the top step, leaning on the railing, while Buck generally spends time back on the seat in the dugout. Here's Lyle Overbay getting a start at first base. Who would have thought Overbay would be making his 105th start at first base for the Yankees? Ball put up in the air to left field, near the warning track. Morse is there. He'll haul it in. Runner all the way to second. Nunez retraces his steps to first base. 2 down.
Yeah, they have pretty good team speed on this team, and Nunez with 9 steals. So got to be aware. Got to make sure they'll tag up. They'll steal bases. The amazing thing in scoring 8 or more runs in those 3 losses, and then winning yesterday against the Red Sox, they only hit 1 home run. So they're getting runs in other ways.
Well, the Yankees, I looked today, the Yankees this month have 2 homers. They are tied for the fewest home runs in the month of September. Runner at first, 2 down. Here's the hero yesterday, one of them anyway, for the Yankees. Ichiro, he scored that game-winning run bottom of the 9th after Mariano Rivera had a blown save on the Middlebrooks home run in the top of the 9th. He came back to get on, sacrificed to second, ended up over third on a fly ball, and then on a wild pitch, Ichiro would score the game-winning run. 1-0 count. Tillman. He'll get the strike at the knees called. Suzuki's only 2 for 16 lifetime off the Oriole right-hander.
No, he's got a pitch, and he's only thrown one of them for strikes. Those are the numbers you were talking about right there. That big overhand curveball. So when he gets into pitcher's counts, that's a pitch he can use and really effectively.
Nunez off first base, 1-1. And that will be up high. 2-1 strike count on Ichiro. Continues to play solid baseball. Always has been tough against the Orioles. This year has been an exception. Ichiro's hit only 200 against the Orioles in the 15 games they've played. 1 home run, 3 RBIs. You compare that to his career mark of 342 against the Orioles. Tillman 2-1. Nunez not going anywhere at first. Ball popped up. Machado over, no play. Well, this all matters obviously for the wild card with 20 games left to go. The Orioles are 2 games out of that second wild card spot. The Yankees are 2.5. The Yankees have won 76 games. So have the Orioles. The Yankees have lost 67. The Orioles have lost 66. That's just how tight this is coming into this 4-game series. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Nunez back.
Yeah, very difficult to run against Chris Tillman. I mean, 6'5", you would think, kind of sometimes a deliberate windup, but not with runners on. Nice, pretty good lead right there. You can see the foot out there by that cut.
2-2, runner not going. Ichiro will put it up in the air, shallow left field. Morris has it lined up. And he will put it away for the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Orioles, Valencia, Hardy, and Morse do it. Claudia, you have won $500 for being selected, and you'll win $100 more for every Orioles hit during our ball game tonight. Plus, an extra $500 for any Orioles home run hit in the 5th inning. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery Hit It Big contestant of the game, play 5-card cash. Go to mdlottery.com/Orioles to enter. We think Bobby Dickerson, the third base coach, is the person that Girardi was talking to before Buck Showalter and Girardi got into that shouting match. Now, why he was talking to Bobby Dickerson, don't know. But he was down, Joe Girardi was down at that end, the third base end of his bench, not hollering, but talking. And apparently it was to Dickerson. But what it was about and why, don't know. Here's Danny Valencia. Valencia will take the pitch up high for a ball. The designated hitter for the Orioles. And for Danny Valencia, he's just earning the playing time. 3 hits Saturday. Multiple hit games, 8 of the last 9. 18 for his last 32. That's a .563 average in his last 9 games.
With doubles and home runs. So slugging percentage sky high.
He prides himself. He's played one defensive inning, and he's not a bad defender. It's just no place for him to play.
And he takes that one to left field. Soriano is there and will put it away. Valencia retired. Sabathia gets the first out here. He's recorded 68% of leadoff batters on the season. Same number that Chris Tillman happens to have. Sabathia going to go over the 200 inning mark. He started with 190, tied for 7th in innings pitched this season in the American League. Always a workhorse, always putting up big innings. Here's J.J. Hardy against Sabathia. Hardy's 9 for 27 with a home run. 1-1 ball game in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. And that'll be a fastball away.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he tops out now. He might hit 92, but it's 89 and 91. And again, he's got a full repertoire of pitches. It's not like he's just a fastball slider pitcher. But he's got a curveball. He's got a changeup. He's coming off elbow surgery. Had it in the off season.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Sabathia's delivery to Hardy, and that'll be ripped to third. Right there, right at him, right in the glove. And 2 down in the inning. Our Hollywood Casino League leaderboard. Slots, tables, and dining. The ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. You see the runs scored, American League leaders, Red Sox, Tigers, and the O's, the A's, and the Angels. The average is 622. Those ball clubs at the top well over that.
Yeah, the Red Sox are going nuts. This run scored. And what was Kenny Singleton, who broadcast, my former teammate, he said, well, they warmed up by getting 20 the day before they came to New York.
Hit hard right at second base, and Cano will play it. So Morse is retired. Couple of hard hit balls, but for Sabathia, a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 2. Florida, home of Orioles spring training, also a destination for culinary adventure. From fresh local seafood to an array of Zagat-rated restaurants. Learn more, visit SavorSarasota.com. Sarasota is going to be hosting the Instructional League games that are going to be played. So if you really love baseball, you want to see some of the future stars who are coming up, Sarasota is going to be the site for that this season. They'll have a number of games here, and when we get a chance, we'll.
Yeah, it's a little bit shorter. I think it's 3.5 weeks. I went there after my first year in A-ball, turned my whole career around. Next year in the major leagues.
And the first pitch from Tillman, that will be foul back as we go to the 3rd inning. Here's Romine, who is doing the catching. Romine, his 43rd game behind the plate as the starting catcher. 0-1 delivery to him, and that'll be taken as it bounces.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Francisco Cervelli. He got hurt early in the year, then the suspension, the PED suspension, and Chris Stewart fouled the ball off his foot.
Stewart's got the bruised left foot. How long he'll be out, not known. Swings through that one. David Robertson, their setup man's got the shoulder tendonitis, and they thought he might be back for the series, but now they're saying not likely. And Logan, Boone Logan, elbow inflammation. He too, not likely in this series. 1-2 delivery, that'll be fouled away. And Joe Girardi saying, whether he meant it just as maybe a psychological statement or not, but he said Mariano Rivera is available tonight. Now Rivera worked 2 innings.
Yeah.
And you usually hadn't done that, since 06.
And then he had multiple inning performance, I think, on Thursday night against the Red Sox. So
got him. Great pitch. Tillman gets his 3rd K.
No, this is what he can do. I mean, he can paint. He can make some good pitches. His fastball, this is what you live for right here if you're a pitcher. Right on the outside corner, and well presented. The head hitcocks by Matt Wieters just held it there.
That'll turn the order over, and here's Gardner. Gardner, a strikeout victim, his first time up. For Gardner this season against the Orioles, a .228 average with 1 home run and 5 RBIs against the O's. In at third base, Machado, and the pitch will miss for a ball. Gardner setting some new offensive numbers, career highs, 145 hits, career high 32 doubles, and 8 home runs. 1-0 count. Outfield shortens up on him. Gardner will take it for a strike. It's big ball games. This is what baseball September is all about. These kind of games. Gonzalez and Nova tomorrow. Feldman, Andy Pettitte, game 3. Wei and Chen, David Huff, schedule 4, game 4. 1-1 delivery in the way, and puts that one in towards the inside part of the plate. 1-2.
Yeah, it's like going to the Empire State Building. This ball starts on the about the middle of the floors, and then just drops to the basement. That was a really good hook.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that'll be foul back. Came in trying to get him on the strikeout right there. It stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Good crowd on hand for the Monday night game. 1-2. And a little looper. That's the dying quail. Just out of the reach of Casilla. So into the Bermuda Triangle out there in right center field. Gardner goes. He'll get the single with 1 away. Text Masson's word of the day, auto, to 29292 for your chance to win lunch with Adam Jones, presented by Jiffy Lube. You can change more than your oil. Help change a life. Drive into Jiffy Lube and support the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Raining booze down on Rodriguez, who responded in the only way an athlete can. He delivered his 5th home run in the 1st inning. Put the Yankees up. Orioles tied at bottom half. And the pitch will miss for a ball. Tillman now has given up 28 home runs on the year.
21 of them here. That ball was belted. You know, a lot of times you can throw it to left center here, throw it 366, 68 feet. It gets out to the power alley. But Camden Yards, I mean, is very much at least the right field here, except the wall maybe a little bit higher when you get down the line like Yankee Stadium. The ball does carry over the ground crew, and that's where A-Rod hit it. He shot it out right here, just to the left of the scoreboard.
His 60th career home run against the Orioles in 227 games. Foul back into the screen, and of those 60, 1/2, 30 have been hit here at Camden Yards. Rodriguez with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Appears as though, for all that went on, he will be able to get through this regular season and maybe through the playoffs if they made it.
Well, didn't they say the hearing? I saw it was scheduled for September 30th.
Yeah.
So I guess there might be. Well, I suppose you could have the hearing and still be playing. It's going to take a while to get a decision.
A long time.
Yeah.
Probably 3 months. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Tillman staying down low. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Rodriguez. Chris Tillman with the 15 wins, 15-5. He is tied for second in the American League in wins this season. He'd be the first Oriole to reach 16 if he could get there since Mike Mussina won 18 back in '99. Short lead at first. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that'll be foul back. So Gardner not going with one away.
And he can run. It's just Chris does a nice job of holding the ball, stepping off on occasion, throwing over on occasion. A little slide step. That's the one thing you have to be worried about. You had a power hitter at the plate, so it's all right to slide step, but still have to make your pitch. Can't leave in the middle of the plate. They're a little bigger lead here.
1-2 the count. Gardner not going, and Rodriguez fouls that one back. Base Steelers only 1 for 8 against Tillman. You combine that with Wieters throwing out 37%, your chances aren't good. That's a big count to pick up only 7 outs.
Yeah, and then you have A-Rod, who already homered, who's hitting well, and then you got Cano on deck. He's hitting about a .385 over his last 30-plus games. So
1-2 from Tillman. Long look. Runner stays. Pitch will be inside. Close, but not quite. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So get ahead. How are we going to get him out? And this is a fastball that's well inside. Of course, the crowd, as you mentioned, somewhat biased.
And pretty much into the game now.
Yeah.
After the little tay-to-tay with the managers, that's as though the crowd needed something more.
Well, the one pitch he hasn't thrown him, and we'll see if he gets it here, is the curveball.
2 ball, 2 strikeouts. See if he runs him here. Gardner not going. A-Rod, a slow roller, fouls it off. So he will hold the count at 2-2. We've talked about it so much this year because players, managers, everybody's talking about it. The number of foul balls. While we don't have an exact count on it, it just seems as though foul balls this year have piled up in games. One of the reasons why the pitch counts have gone through the roof early. And A-Rod's doing that right here. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Tillman will hold. Gardner will stay. Foul tipped into the mitt. Wieters hangs on. 4 Ks.
Yeah, he just made sure the velocity on his fastball went up a little bit. He can do that. So here's a high rider. He does foul tip it right into the glove. I mean, same location as he hit over the wall, but a little extra on it.
Turned around to see if Wieters held it.
Yeah, he's surprised that happened. It's kind of been interesting. I mean, this guy right here, when you talk about Cano, the master of fouling balls off if he doesn't drill it hard somewhere. But it seems like it's directly opposed to more strikeouts. More strikeouts, but more foul balls. It doesn't seem like they would go hand in hand.
I agree. Strikeouts at an all-time high again. Here's Cano with 2 down. Runner at first base. Goes after the first pitch. Chopper to second. Casilla. Good inning for Tillman. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a base runner left on. Orioles will have Wieters to lead it off in the 3rd. The American Heart Association and top donors for the 2014 Baltimore Heart Ball on the center field roof deck. They celebrated with a special partnership for the kickoff. Orioles AHA have set what would be a record-setting $810,000 fundraising goal for the Heart Ball. Proceeds benefit breakthroughs in cardiovascular disease research, education programs, and advocacy efforts. And a lot of that money goes to institutions such as Johns Hopkins and the University of Maryland. Here is Matt Wieters and the pitch to him. And pregame activities included presentation of a check for $75,000, signifying the official beginning of the fundraising for the Heart Ball. On-field presentation from the Orioles to the Heart Association. A great night pregame-wise here at the Yard. Wieters will take the pitch down low. Wieters, 182 lifetime hitter against Sabathia with 1 home run. Casilla. And then Markakis at the top of the order in our 1-1 ball game. 1-1 delivery on the way. And that one will miss. 2-1. For the Orioles, switch hitting catcher this season. Distinct difference. Right-handed 280, left-handed 212. Home runs about equal. 10 right, 11 left. 2-1 pitch by Sabathia. That'll go to third. Rodriguez had to take a hop on him. Voting is now open at Orioles.com/fanshirt for your vote on the fan design T-shirt to be given away Thursday, September 26th to the first 10,000 fans 15 and over. Finalists have been selected. Now you decide which of the shirts is the winner and will be handed out. Just go to Orioles.com/fanshirt. Casilla getting the start at second base. Why? Because his batting average against CC Sabathia. That's why. Look at this. A .516 lifetime career batting average against the Yankees starter. Only Giambi against Oliver. Melky Cabrera against Mark Burley have bigger numbers among active players.
And they play him for the bunt. Just fake it.
He hits it to center. Gardner's right there.
Yeah, I like your chances. Even though Brian Roberts is swinging the bat, well, I looked at that number today, and of course, every time CC pitches against the Orioles, it seems Alexi's in there. There's D-Rob, who's been swinging the bat well. And then I'm wondering, of course, was he playing regularly when he came up with those good numbers? Because that's only his third at bat of the month of September. So, but he hit it well. Yep. Must see the ball.
And the other reason, before the game, Buck Showalter said, I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, and this may be the last time I'm able to take Roberts out of the lineup. Here is Nick Markakis in the leadoff spot. And Nick will take the pitch. He had a double, scored first inning on the sac fly by Jones. Moved up by Manny Machado to third on a sacrifice bunt. Markakis, a 4-game hit streak now. 1-0 is there for a strike.
Yeah, so there's the firmest fastball of the night. Hit the slider for the double. We'll see if he maybe goes a little bit more to the power fastball.
Orioles have evened their mark against left-handed starters on the year to 23-23, 7th in the American League in win percentage against left-handers. They will be seeing them down the line whenever teams can line their left-handers up to go against the Orioles. 2-ball, 1-strike delivery from Sabathia. And a little roller to third. A-Rod, can he make the play? Barehanded underneath. No way. Threw it away. But he gets a break. It did not go into the seats. It bounces off the facade of the stands. And Markakis is on with a base hit.
Yeah, really no chance. He's off the line where he should be. He's going to come in, and then not a good throw at all. And Nick will get back quickly because you never ever want to think that you made any kind of attempt, even though you don't go across the foul line. So he tried it back to first just didn't think the umpire might have thought that. His shoulders kind of flinched a little bit, but no chance to advance a base.
Back on that bag, you don't have to worry about it. Here's Manny Machado. Machado with a sacrifice his first time up. And he'll foul it back. Yankees actually employ a shift against Manny, playing him to pull in the infield. Shortstop, Nunez way back and over. And you see Cano almost over to second base. Nothing between first and second.
Well, he throws him another hanging curveball. Nobody's going to catch it. I mean, he got away with one right there. But Manny, yeah, you know Manny can hit the ball to right field with the best of them. But I think, again, percentage-wise, that's why they're still playing there.
There are the hits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does hit more balls that way, but for a young hitter, he can go inside, stay inside the ball with the best of them, which is why he hits for doubles and average. And
1 ball, 1 strikeout. And that'll be outside to him. So he'll get ahead on the count on the off-speed delivery. Goes to 2-1. Machado at 294, lifetime hitter against CC Sabathia. The Orioles have good numbers batting-wise in their lineup against Sabathia. He, of course, has the 18-5 lifetime mark against the Orioles with a 2-1 this year. 2-1 delivery on the way. Machado got that one down the line. It was in on the hands a little bit. 2-2.
Yeah, I think that was a slider, maybe a little bit of a cutter. And yeah, I don't think you could ever, and one of the keys to the game that, I mean, he's a winner. They know, I mean, a Cy Young Award winner 2007. He's not a guy that you ever take lightly because you know he's going to compete. The number's not as good, but he's somehow, with a team that's been riddled with injuries, he's 2 games over 500.
And the 2-2 delivery on the way. Machado, did he hold up? No. Home plate umpire Ed Hickox makes the call, said he went around. That'll do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. It's a pretty good call by the home plate umpire. And we've completed 3. Ball game tied at 1. In this ball game for Tillman, looking to get strikeouts against the Yankees. He did first inning. He got Soriano. He has 4 so far. One of those against A-Rod that would end the 3rd inning. He got 2 in that inning.
Now you can really see the maturing of Chris Tillman. You throw a home run to A-Rod, but then you come back with the same pitch. You throw it a little bit harder or with more movement, a little more velocity, and throw it right by him.
Now to try and be a little more efficient, he'll go against middle part of the order here. Cleanup batter is Soriano, Granderson, and then Nunez. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Soriano, a strikeout victim, his first time up. He comes in with a 4-game hit streak. Infield shift is employed against him. And the 0-1 and a big cut through it.
Well, he has made it very evident, and we're only in the 4th inning, that he will throw all his pitches. He will throw his changeup to start a hitter off. He'll throw it when he's behind. He'll throw it when he's ahead. Trying to get the feel for the big overhand curveball. So all of a sudden, if you go up to home plate, he's unpredictable. And if you're pitching, you like to be able to command your stuff than to have the hitter not have any idea what might be coming.
Soriano getting his first look at Tillman. 0-2 delivery and a ground ball towards third base. Manny Machado in the pickup over to Davis. Well, let's open up our Major League Notebook to our East Wins page. You take a look. The Red Sox are going to be at the Rays 3-game series. That is going to start tomorrow. The Rays versus the West were 4-9, including that road trip. Now they come back into the East. They play 11 of the next 14 at home. Last September, 23-8 at home. The Red Sox, meanwhile, they've won 10 of their last 16 against the Rays, even though they've only hit .211 in the series against the Rays. Into the shift, and again Granderson is retired. He has popped out twice now to Casilla in shallow right field.
Yeah, and we told you about the home runs. 43 last year when he was healthy, 41 the year before. So normally, if you don't put a shift on, you're an outfielder. You're playing deep because he's got big time when he's healthy type of power. But those are, that line drive hit a little bit better, but those are 2 base hits that the shift takes away.
And that will bring up Eduardo Nunez, who delivered a single his first time up. The Yankees come in 12th in average, 10th in runs, and next to last in home runs in the American League. Orioles are 5th in average, 3rd in runs, and lead the majors in homers. Yankee pitching is 8th overall in ERA, while the Orioles are 10th. Yankee starters, they're ranked 9th. The Orioles starters are ranked 12th. Ground ball to third. Machado side saddles on Nunez and got it. Defense right there where it's been all year. That's a 1-2-3 clean inning, the first of the ball game for Tillman. Brought to you by Chapin Davis Investments. Chapin Davis, providing investments that can produce income for your retirement plan. Learn more at 1-800-222-3246 or at chapindavis.com. 42 for Jackie, and the only 42 still worn, of course, in the ballpark. One last season. One last couple of weeks with Rivera wearing it. He's made it emphatic, even though Joe Girardi tried to get him to maybe think about coming back next year. I'm done.
Well, he's done emotionally, no, not physically. And he just said all these years, travel, family is going to become a priority. It's been a great ride, though, to see. I mean, not only for him and all the guys that got to play with him, but all the fans, all the people. I mean, us broadcasters, to see a guy that's been that good with that kind of class. Been amazing.
Adam Jones leads it off against Sabathia. Sac fly for the Oriole run. He'll go after the first pitch. And for Adam Jones, when you need the big players, they come through this month. 294 home runs and 6 RBIs. Jones has kind of been an understudy all season long because of the great numbers that have been put up by Chris Davis. But what he's done is no understudy in terms of the results. As he comes in tied for 4th in home runs. He is 4th, now tied for 3rd with the one he picked up in this game in RBIs. He's up there among the runs leaders. He is 4th in that department. He's just had a great year. Swing and a miss. Sabathia eating him up on a pitch down and in, and the count goes to 0-2. So Jones and the Orioles, Sabathia and the Yankees in town for this 4-game series that have become such a part of the new schedule. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it will be inside, right where he swung at the last one. He didn't on this one.
Well, Jonesy does a nice job of hitting with 2 strikes. The league average is about 178 when you get into these 2-strike situations.
Here's the 1-2 delivery from Sabathia, and the fastball will be up high.
Yeah, you could see Austin Romine move up and in. He missed his target by about 2 feet, but Adam didn't chase.
Jones becoming the second Oriole outfielder. We have 3 25-plus home run seasons, joining Frank Robinson. 2-2 delivery to him, reached for it. It goes to center. Gardner just about 3 steps over, puts it away, and Jones is retired. Let's take a look at our AT&T mobility trivia fact. Chris Davis hitting .521 when he's ahead in the count this season. That is the highest average in those situations in the majors.
So the trick, if you're the opposition, is to get ahead, but again, he's hit a lot of first pitch home runs. So you better be a quality pitch.
1 down, nobody on. Shift on in the infield. And Davis with a big cut will foul that one at the plate. Sabathia can do a lot of that to you when he's got it going. He can give you that ball that's hit right straight down. Foul balls off your ankle, leg, foot, knee, and off your catcher too.
Yeah, if you're right-handed, it's a slider, and if you're lefty, he's got a good 2-seam fastball, and try to run it in on the hand. Only if the ball sinks like the 2-seamer is supposed to, and you hit it right down on your feet. There it is again.
Yeah. Again off the fist.
That ball right on the inside edge. And then when you pitch inside, you just change the visual perspective of a hitter. In and in. Now with 2 strikes, you're trying to hang in with your Chris Davis, and he's done a nice job of that.
And the 0-2 delivery on the way. That'll be taken away. Even though Chris's numbers against the lefties average-wise aren't as good as they were last year, he is second in the American League in runs batted in against left-handed pitchers. He's got the most home runs at home, most RBIs at home this year, 3rd in homers on the road, and 2 in RBIs on the road. Davis right there, knew it. So Sabathia gets his second K, 2 down.
Well, and whatever this was, I mean, I know it's a fastball, but this is 93. We haven't seen that all night long, so if you're CC, try to remember what that felt like. Did you relax? Did you just try to paint that outside corner? Because that was one great pitch.
Sabathia gets the out on Davis on the called strike. Strikeout victim Machado in the last inning, the 2 that he's picked up in the ball game, and that'll bring up Valencia. Danny Valencia, and a chopper towards short. Inez the pick, and will record the out. So a 1-2-3 inning. That's the second clean inning Sabathia's had in the ball game. Wild card spots. The Rays are off tonight, coming back from the West Coast. You see the strength of the schedule. That's that SOS number. Then you got the Orioles and the Indians, both 2 games out. Strength of schedule would favor the Indians. Then the Yankees schedule, it's significantly tough. They're 2.5 games behind, and the Royals are not done yet. They are 3.5 games behind that second wild card spot, and they've got a significant schedule left to play.
Oh yeah, but numbers are only numbers, and you just don't know how they're going to turn out. If anybody went back to 2011 when the Red Sox won 7-20 and said you get to play the Orioles 7 games at the end of the season, and the Orioles are only going to win 69 games, you would have said bring them on. Yeah. Orioles won 5 of those 7, so you just don't never know.
No. Players, as Buck Showalter said, it's great for fans to discuss. I mean, it's part of the game, but for the players, it's about right now, this pitch, this at bat, this game, and you've got to stay on that focus. Even if fans get tired of hearing the mantra, players have to do that, otherwise things just get out of control on you. For Chris Tillman, he has walked out and struck out 4 so far. The Yankees a run on 3 hits, the A-Rod home run. The Orioles have picked up a run on 2 hits in the ballgame. Sac fly by Jones. Fouled away by Overbay, who flied out to left field his first time up.
Yeah, the reality of playing on contending teams that have a good chance to go to the postseason. Same things you talked about, the bats, the pitches, the defense, and all that started in April. I just think for some teams that aren't used to doing it, or younger teams, they figure, okay, it's a lot easier to do it maybe the last 30 games or so. That's when, and it's on everybody's mind. I mean, everywhere I go and go to the Merit and work out in the morning, everybody's going, how are they going to win? I said, they're going to have to play better to win.
How many people asked you today they're going to get a hit with a runner in scoring position? Everywhere I went today. 1-2 delivery on the way, and I don't know. That's why we do the game. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Overbay. Buck Showalter settled back in after the initial hoorah. Here's the 2-2 pitch and a pop-up. He had to go down to the ground to get that one.
Yeah, that's a terrific changeup.
Manny Machado will take it in fair territory, and Overbay is retired. Let's take a look at our PNC Minor League report, brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in You. Outstanding season for Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, Buck Showalter was talking about it, and I said, I was always a pretty good catch and throw guy. He said, yeah, he calls a great game, so it's great to see anybody that can catch, and you can see he's kind of a multitasker. Can play first, can play the outfield, but when you put up those kind of numbers, and Buck's point was, I don't care where you're playing. A lot of home runs, nice, really nice average, a couple points lower than 300. We've had a great offensive year.
Here is Ichiro. Ichiro flied out his first time up. Ichiro and then Romine, bottom third of the order for the Yankees. Tillman's delivery will be fouled back. Ichiro became just the 3rd player since 1900 to have 20 or more stolen bases in each of his first 13 seasons. Ricky Henderson did it. Ozzie Smith did it. Ichiro has done it. 0-2 delivery on the way. What a pitch by Tillman. Wow, slant that table down.
Well, he's really gotten one ball in the middle of the plate, and A-Rod hit it for a home run. Here's the curveball. Had trouble. I always found it, and I had this type of curveball where it's a field pitch. So sometimes it takes you 2, 3, 4 innings. Sometimes you don't ever get the feel for it. But if you keep throwing it and you command your other pitches, you can kind of work on it as the game progresses.
Oof. Here's Romine, 2 down, nobody on, and the fastball will be taken up high. Romine, coming off that homestand, is just 2 for 17. 1 double and a couple of RBIs for the Yankees. 1-0 delivered. Despite the thrashing by the Red Sox, the Yankees actually went 6-4 on that homestand, and now first game of a 10-game road trip for Girardi's crew. 1-1 delivery. That'll be inside and high.
Yeah, he got a big double on that Friday night game. Orioles a week ago Friday did a double in 5-run inning against Miguel Gonzalez. Yankees would come behind and Sabathia would win that game.
Belts it foul.
Yeah, that was a pitch that Chris got in trouble with. I mean, he threw Yan Gomes a changeup, and of course they didn't score any runs for him in Cleveland. Been a pretty good year in that capacity. They got him almost 6 runs a game last year. They're a little over 5.5. So Nice support. Nice when you not only get runs to work with, but you pitch well.
And went back outside on him, and he'll foul it off the other way. Chris Tillman coming off the White Sox game, which he got a win. 3 runs, 5 hits, 7 1/3. He's won his last 2. And he has picked up 4 wins in the last 5 starts that he has made, making a difference for the Orioles down the stretch. 2-2 delivery, and that one is going to be foul back. For Tillman now, 31 and 33 in his career. 7 and 3 this year at home. 4.38 ERA. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery. Romine will go down swinging. 6 strikeouts for Tillman. 2 in this inning. 2 others in the third. 2 others in the first. And for this inning only, tonight's Maryland Lottery hit a big contestant of the game will get $500 for any Orioles home run. Vlad, we wish you well. You've already got 700 tonight. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery hit a big contestant of the game, play 5-card cash. Go to mdlottery.com/Orioles to enter.
So a home run needs to be hit for Claude.
Go deep. Go deep.
Well, they get 3 pretty good candidates coming up for the Orioles.
51 on the pitch count board for Sabathia as Hardy will stand in. Hardy lined out first time up, and he will take the pitch down low for a ball. J.J. Hardy has had 1 home run lifetime off Sabathia, and he's got 25 on the year. Interesting positioning. You got no chance, fella.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-0 pitch.
That's their big trouble.
1-1. Sabathia got it in. Hardy gets it out. It'll roll into the corner. Soriano going over to get it. Hardy on his way to second base, and he's got a stand-up double to lead off the Orioles' 5th inning.
Trying to get it in, and you could see Romine, and it's really not that bad a pitch. It's just maybe he's looking there. Really quick bat for JJ. It's hardly ever not that. He just lines it where nobody plays and legs it into, as you see, his 22nd double of the year.
What a September Hardy is having. That's 12 hits and 30 at-bats this month, including 2 home runs for Hardy. Here's Michael Morse. He lined out his first time up. 4 for 8 with a home run lifetime off Sabathia. Cano will hold the runner at second base. Infield plays him to pull, and the pitch will be taken inside for a ball. Orioles got the leadoff man on in the first inning. A Markakis double, and they would score. This is only the second time they've had the leadoff man on base tonight. Orioles 3 for their last 37 with runners in scoring position. Has dropped their team average down to 266. Still 5th best. Fair ball. Holds the runner. Gets the out. Runner goes. Throw over Bay. Not in time. So Hardy heads up base running.
Really heads up. Maybe I was kidding him. Told me he was fast running in straight lines, and I said, I'm not really sure. But that was really good base running. I mean, he waits. I mean, the ball's down the line, so it's a long, long throw. And then when he makes the throw, so again, look how far he has to go. So he's got to go over there, and then not a lot of arm strength from A-Rod. I mean, he gets it over there, and then he just beats the throw, takes a look into the slide, and gets tagged on a helmet, but a little bit too late by Alex Rodriguez.
So the Orioles will have the Yankee infield drawn in against Wieters, who grounded out his first time up. So Joe Girardi playing this to be a tight ball game. As it is, tied at 1-1 here in the 5th inning.
Now you look at CC Sabathia, and radio guy Joe Angel said, well, what does it happen when you don't throw as hard? I said, sometimes it's hard to strike out guys when you get runners at third in these situations in less than 2 outs.
And Wieters will take the pitch down low. Wieters hitting .239 with runners in scoring position this season. Hardy with one away does not have to go. Matt has really picked the pace up, as you see, offensively. You're in September with a .321 average coming into the game with a couple of home runs. 2-0 count. Wieters fouls it back.
Good swing. Take a look at, you were talking about the runners in scoring position. So here's before, what the average is, and you can see since, and you can throw in a 5 for 54. And I was thinking, well, they're really chasing a lot of pitches. It's not the fact they're chasing a lot of pitches, they're just not getting hits. And I guess, Tampa Bay did run the West Coast trip, 150.
2-1 delivery. Came up and into him that time, 3-1.
See, I'm not really sure that CC Sabathia, in spite of the good numbers by Casilla, who's waiting on deck, really wants to pitch to Wieters. Especially when he gets behind.
Wieters a 182 hitter, lifetime off CC.
But right here, this is a critical count for Matt. Just make him throw a strike. Pressure's on CC Sabathia, not Matt Wieters.
Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way, and Wieters will put it up in the air, and it's going to give the Orioles a lead. Back to get it is Gardner. Tagging up at third is Hardy. Ball caught. He takes off. Wieters gets the RBI. Orioles 2, and the Yankees 1.
Hey, so when you're throwing 95, 98 miles per hour like CC used to throw, you might get away with a 3-1 fastball in the middle of the plate, but not tonight. Not at 91. But the key here was not only Hardy getting a double, but the base running. It allowed him to get to third base for that second run, and then Matt gets the job done.
70th RBI for Matt Wieters and his 9th sacrifice fly. He's tied for the lead in the majors in sac flies this year. And the Orioles get a 2-1 lead on Sabathia. And the breaking ball to Casilla. Casilla flied out to center first time up. Odd arrangement in the infield. They play him to pull. A-Rod is in at third base and Overbay is in at first. And you see how the infield is shifted around towards third. And Casilla will take it down low for a ball, 1-1.
Well, this is the way you play a speedy guy. You take away the bunt, either the push or the drag bunt, and then you also play a little bit shallower if you're the shortstop or the second baseman because of the speed factor.
1-1 delivery, and that's going to be outside. So Sabathia on the fastball misses, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count. So the Orioles RBIs by Jones and Wieters both have come on sac flies. Both have been set up runs. Marquez doubled, sacrificed by Manny Machado to third, sac fly Jones, double Hardy. Good base running moved him over to third on that play at first, and then Wieters a sac fly. 2-1 showed bunt. He'll take the pitch, and it's up high, 3-1. Casilla making him work here. Casilla now 16 for 32. Lifetime against Sabathia. 2 down, bases empty, and the 3-1. Got one to hit, broken back, base hit into left field. Because Rodriguez was drawn in, he had a dive to try and get it. Otherwise, that's an easy play for the third baseman.
And the only reason he's in because of speed and the fact that he feigned bunting. A lesson to be learned by young players that can run a little bit. Bring them in and then hit them by it. The threat of a bunt, even though it's one strike, couldn't get to that ball because, again, the depth. Hard to get the angle to cut it off.
So the Orioles keep the inning alive. The ball by A-Rod, and that will bring up Nick Markakis, already 2 for 2.
Now you want CC out of there and see who they're going to present from the bullpen because of all the injuries.
And the throw over, Casilla back to the bag.
Now, they really don't run on CC very often, and 30th start, and they've only attempted 7 steals, 4 out of 7.
2 down. Pretty good lead for Casilla. There he goes. Taken. Throw by Romine. Not in time. Stolen base. Romine has thrown out only 22%, and a good jump by Casilla.
Yeah, this is really on CC Sabathia. I mean, he doesn't throw over there again. Straight steal. High throw. Good throw. I mean, he gets rid of it quickly. I mean, it's pretty much right on the money, but it's up just a shade. And you can see Eduardo having to come up from high to low and just doesn't get it done.
So another RBI chance for the Orioles and Nick Markakis. And a check swing and a ball away. That'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, another glaring number, and you wondered why the ERA at 4.86 is 300 with runners in scoring position. 254 career. That's his career number. 300 this year.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Markakis will take the pitch inside, and it will go to 2-1. Nick has upped his career 269 mark against Sabathia with the 2 hits in this game. And now if he can get a base hit, Casilla with 2 down will be going on contact. Has great speed. He's got Nunez moving in behind him, the shortstop at second base. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that's going to be outside. And again, Sabathia falls behind, 3-1. There's the chance for Markakis with Casilla standing between Markakis and the RBI. Sabathia. 3-1 delivery. Nick takes it. It's there. Pitches piling up now for Sabathia.
A pretty economical second and the fourth, even the third.
Markakis 3-2, 2 down. Orioles have a 2-1 lead. A run in here in the 5th. Markakis up the middle. He's got a base hit. That'll be an RBI. Casilla will score. Markakis is 3 for 3, and the Orioles have a 3-1 lead.
Well, the Orioles doing a great job of manufacturing the runs. Casilla with the base hit, the stolen base earlier in the game. They get the bunt by Machado, sacrifice fly, and here's Nick Markakis. You could see him just back up the middle. For some reason, Cano did this against him in Yankee Stadium. He plays him a little bit to pull. So no chance to flag it down before it gets into center field. 2-run inning here in the 5th, and pitch count mounting. Larry Rothschild, words of wisdom, the Yankee pitching coach.
Markakis with his 9th 3-hit ball game of the year and his 41st multi-hit game for Nick Markakis. Top of the order. 54 RBIs for Nick. See the Sabathia numbers on the road and at home significantly different in both the wins and that ERA. And the pitch will be taken by Manny Machado, who has sacrificed and struck out. Orioles now 3 runs on 5 hits. The Yankees a run on 3 hits. And the Orioles getting those big hits in this game with runners in scoring position, or at least moving the runner up. And that pitch is there for a strike from Sabathia. Nate McLouth taking care of the star.
Well, he likes the fast guys because that's what he can do.
Casilla. Yeah. 1-1. And back to the bag.
Well, when you go back to spring training, when you sign Alexei Casilla, they got him for exactly what he just did. The ability to get on, the ability to steal the base. And you match him up every once in a while. That's why he's playing tonight. Great numbers against CC Sabathia.
And that pitch is going to miss down low. So Sabathia struggling to get ahead and stay ahead of hitters. 2 ball, 1 strike count. He's gone 3-1 on the last 2, and both have singled off him. Now Manny Machado takes a 2-1. Girardi's got a depleted bullpen. What's left? A lot of young pitchers. 2-1 delivery down to third. That will be foul, and it'll even up the count.
Yeah, not the type of pitcher. He's closing in on 2,800 innings that he's going to give in just because he gets behind, and he doesn't need to. And again tonight, it's not like he's getting really hit that hard, but just the little things. And then couldn't get Markakis out when he needed him.
And Machado will take the pitch inside. So this will send Markakis with a 3 ball, 2 strike count and 2 down. Overbay checking to see where they want him to play at first, looking into the dugout. And he's going to move not completely back. You see off the bag, but still between the runner and first base. 3-2 delivery and a ball chunked in the air. That's going to be Gardner. He's going to get over there and he'll put it away. And that'll retire the side. The Orioles are going to pick up a run on 3 hits. They leave just 1 on and take a 3-1 lead.
The 652nd home run. Yankees ahead by 1, right center field. Here come the Orioles. A sacrifice fly by Adam Jones. Markakis, who would double, will tie it up 1-1, and then Chris Tillman on a roll right here. Markakis 2-1. Orioles will make it 3-1. 2-out base hit. Scores Casilla, who had singled and stole a base. So Sabathia, not really pitching poorly. He's given up the 3 runs. Tillman only the home run to Alex Rodriguez. No walks after 5 in his last start. So made a nice adjustment. That is Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
So Markakis and Wieters picking up some big RBIs, 1 apiece. And we go to the 6th inning. Top of the order here is Gardner. And Tillman's delivery to him will be taken down low. Brett Gardner with a single, and he has struck out 4 for 14. Lifetime off Tillman. His speed brings Machado and Davis in at the corners.
Yeah, can't always do it, but you'd certainly like to stifle him. There's 1, 2, 3 coming up after you have a 2-run lead. And
fouls it back. Talked about Gardner's been hot here over the last here in September. Really, he and Cano have been the 2 carrying the team in runs batted in September. They are 1 and 2 in the American League in September RBIs. Soriano's 3rd.
Yeah, look at that. That's what you're talking about. 9 RBIs.
That one in the air to left field. Morse is there. One away, sixth inning. Tune in to the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report tomorrow, 5 to 6:30. Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Mel Anton, and Dave Johnson. They'll have a preview of tomorrow night's game, the latest Oriole news, nightly scouting reports, batting practice look-ins, Buck Showalter's pregame press conference, and they'll be having a talk with Mike Bordick about batting practice and just what does it mean in terms of the ball game itself. All coming up at 5 on Masson.
Bordy. I'll tell you, I was watching him throw batting practice. I said to Jim Presley, this is magnificent. He said, about as good as it gets. He throws some great batting practice.
A-Rod fouls it back. A-Rod a home run in the first inning. His fifth, struck out his second time up.
Which is, I mean, I'm certainly not that. He has a lot of other attributes too, of course, as we know. But batting practice, flinging is one of them. Strikes, takes a little off, adds a little bit. Little cutter.
And keeps it straight.
They hate balls that move.
0-1 delivery on the way, and a chopper. That'll go to second base. Casilla on the fourth hop. Gets the out.
And A-Rod, it looks like the local going down there. Not running particularly well. It's not routine unless you make it routine.
So Rodriguez out of there. 2 down in the sixth inning. Tillman's got the pedal down right now in the middle portion of this ball game. He's retired the side in order each of the last 2 innings.
Well, at least I talk about it all the time. He's got an edge. I don't think he liked losing to Cleveland. Again, he wasn't bad. They didn't score a lot of runs. He made a couple leadoff walks and then a hanging changeup. Other than that, he wasn't too bad. Just no run support. But he didn't like that game. And that's what you like from young guys.
Robinson Cano up. He is fly down and grounded out.
But the quality of the pitches, obviously if you can execute your pitches and you can stay out of the middle of the plate, but it's about as good a curveball as I've seen this year. And the velocity's come back. He's been able to locate, and then if he does get behind, he's got that third pitch, that changeup.
He's 59% fly ball outs on the year, but in this ball game, he's dividing them up. Ground ball, fly ball, and strikeouts. He's got 6 Ks. That's in there.
So here you have Cano. He got him out the first time on a changeup. The next time he bounced a curveball to second base. And because he threw the changeups, and he threw him about 3 the first time up, right there, 1-1. Robinson, who's about as good as they get, he takes a fastball right down the middle because he's mystified of what he's going to throw.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Outfield swung a bit around the other way on him, and that's where he'll foul that pitch off.
Now, how often do we see Robinson Cano taking defensive hacks?
Only when he has to.
All right, well, that was one of them.
And a 1 ball, 2 strike count on him. Chris Tillman's had good luck here at Camden Yards with the Orioles, 15-10, 4.38 ERA in the games he's pitched here. 1-2 delivery. Cano with the ground ball. That'll go to Casilla. He'll make the play to Davis. And that's 11 in a row retired by Tillman. He's had clean innings for the last 3. The Orioles have a 3-1 lead. wdealer.com. 1948 Polo Grounds, Dodger Rex Barney no-hit the Giants 2-0. And in 2010, Ichiro became the first major leaguer with 10 consecutive seasons with 200 hits. And yes, that is the Orioles' Rex Barney. And there he is, major league pitcher with the Brooklyn Dodgers, 1943, and from 46 through 1950. Then the PA announcer, of course, for the Orioles from 1974 until his death in 1997, recognized with a plaque out on Utah Street. Give that fan a contract. There he is with Chuck Thompson and Ernie Tyler. Thompson on the left, Tyler on the right, and Rex Barney right there. And the last words heard at Memorial Stadium. He was in the hospital the last game, October 6, 91, but they had a recording. And, of course, it was, for all Oriole fans know, thank you. And those were the last words at Memorial.
As they should be. What a gentleman. Yeah. I asked Ralph Branca, who was one of his teammates, because Roger Kahn and the Boys of Summer, which was about the Dodgers, Campanella and Snyder and Hodges and all the great players and all that rivalry with the Yankees. He described him as a guy that pitched like the strike zone was high and away. So I asked Ralph Branco up at the baseball assistant team's dinner and who played with him. I said, what kind of, did he really have that comment? He said, incredible. He just had a little trouble commanding. But what a great guy. Certainly, in a way, one of my mentors, because he was always here. And talk about a gentleman that loved baseball. He'd just come down to spring training and he'd be there every day.
Jones got to go to right field with that one. That's going to be in there for a base hit. Ichiro's got to play it off the wall and into second base with a double goes Jones. And the Orioles again, for the third time in 6 innings, have a leadoff double.
CC elevates. Check this ball out. It's just up enough. Great approach right here. Let it travel a little bit. Don't have to try to pull it because he can command the outside part of the plate, but the ball's up enough where you can just slice it where Ichiro can't get to it.
Well, the Orioles, with Adam Jones' 32nd double, have scored previous 2 times. They've had that leadoff double, once Markakis, once Hardy. They've scored in each of those innings. Now here's Chris Davis, and Davis on the big cut, on the pitch away and off speed. Chris has struck out and flied out in the ball game.
Yeah, they better pay attention, to Adam Jones, and Nunez has kind of come over. He's playing as a second baseman because otherwise, Adam with 13 steals, but caught twice. Now they hold him on. Otherwise, he had a big lead the first pitch.
Fouled off. Chris Davis behind on the count 0-2. There you see for Crush Davis, the differential 2012-2013.
Yep, and tonight he's going to pass his total at bats for last season. So you could see, strikeouts about the same, but look, he's walked more, he's hit more home runs, and he's driven in more runs.
0-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss, a tag out by Romine just to be sure. Sabathia gets the strikeout. That's his third. 2 of them have been against Davis.
Yeah, he needs a strikeout, and he's able to get it. Got ahead, and then just the breaking ball under the zone. And that's what pitching's about. Didn't give him anything really good to hit.
So Sabathia gets 1 out. That'll bring up Danny Valencia. Valencia 0 for 2 in the ball game. He has grounded out, flied out. And the pitch there for a strike. The Orioles 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight. And Cano has come over to join Jones literally on second base.
Well, the home run he hit off CC was a changeup, but tonight hasn't got one in any kind of hittable zone for Danny Valencia.
0-1 the count. Outfield deep on Valencia. Sabathia's delivery to him is on the inside corner. When Jones got down there to second base, Wayne Kirby went out to pick up some of the armor that's worn. And Kirby kind of had a quick conversation with him. And I think what Wayne Kirby was telling him was, watch, if nobody gets over that bag on you, go ahead. Take third. No. And he had a big lead, Jim, as you said.
On the first pitch.
On the first pitch. And then the Yankees said, whoa.
Well, it's also a tough play for A-Rod because he's playing back. And he's got to kind of look out of both sides of his eyes to see.
Down to third, speaking of, that's foul. Jones back at second base.
Well, the good thing, unless he lines into a double play, you got 2 shots to add that 4th run, or maybe more.
Home run by Rodriguez in the first. That's been it for the Yankees. The Orioles sac fly Jones first inning. Then they added 2 more in the 5th. Sac fly by Wieters. RBI base hit by Markakis. And now Danny Valencia trying to add to it here. Orioles 5-1 against the Yankees here at Camden Yards this year. 8-7 overall in the season series. And the 0-2, and just no chance on that one, and he gets a strikeout.
No, there's the slider, and he's gotten 2 critical strikeouts, back-to-back hitters after the leadoff double. And how's he done it? He's got the head. And this is the back foot slider.
Larry Rothschild's going to come out to the mound here. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen. You got Jones down at second base, Hardy up, and then Morse on deck.
Yeah, who do you want to pitch to?
Thought Buck Showalter made a good point today. He's talking about these situations. Showalter said, I will never tell a pitcher to pitch around anybody. He said, if I ever said that, I would expect the pitcher to say to me, get off the mound. He said, if you don't want me to pitch to him as a pitcher, then walk him. If you want me to throw to him, then let me throw to him and try and get him out. He said, I will never tell a pitcher to pitch around somebody. I hadn't heard Buck say that before.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Well, you're right, and I've had managers do that. Usually they let you make the decision, but I'm not sure if you ever really pitch around anybody other than the fact because in this situation, when I'm down to 3-1, I'm not pitching around anybody because I'm going to make the same kind of pitches to whoever I face. And you can't give in. And the interesting thing to me, Gary, is Hardy's got the double, but the first time up, both Morse and Hardy both hit line drives right at their infielder. So probably, if he's going to walk somebody and either make the perfect pitch, which is what you're trying to do anyway, we probably would rather pitch to Morse.
Hardy the double in the line out. 1-0 delivery to him, and that will miss down low, staying away in the first 2. And the count goes to 2-0 and J.J. Hardy.
I mean, circumstances dictate that you tell your catcher, Austin Romine, you sit on the corner here. I mean, right on the black, that little black edge around the plate. And you force J.J. to expand the strike zone, or otherwise, let him go down to first. But
2-0 count on him. Hardy again outside, and the count will go to 3-0. So first base open here. Romine stands up now. Let's see if he's going to just give the intentional. He does. So this will go as an intentional pass to J.J. Hardy. Jones will be ready at second in case this thing goes flying to the backstop. It doesn't, but had a butterfly look to it. So there's the intentional pass. Well, when the Orioles win, everyone wins all season long. When the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's.
Yeah,
let's see how the strategy works.
Yeah, lifetime numbers favor Michael Morse. With Hardy playing every day and Michael not. Those are the numbers. Started with Seattle and all kinds of injuries early.
And Romine's going to go out just to see how they want to pitch to Morse. Morse in his 6th game with the Orioles, he has picked up 3 hits in the 16 at bats he's had, looking for his first RBI as an Oriole. Michael's played right, left, DH, and a big number against the Yankees. That's overall on the season against the Yankees. Morse has always hit well against New York. Career number 313. And the pitch is taken down low for a ball. So 2 on, 2 down. Orioles up by 2 here in the 6th.
Yeah, it really doesn't get a whole lot easier. Came in 4 for 7. You got a guy really swinging the bat well. Matt Wieters on deck.
Jones off second base. Hardy off first. And nub foul the other way by Morse. 1-1.
And the pitch count within 5 of 100.
Not where Joe Girardi really wanted it to be in the 6th inning.
Well, a couple of things have happened. First of all, the Orioles have had quality at bats, and the other thing is that Chris Tillman, after the home run in the 1st inning, has slammed the door. So there's a lot of pressure when you pitch against somebody pitching that well.
1-1 delivery on the way to him. Morse to third, just missed. Little bit too much in front, only by inches, but it was foul, and it's 1-2. These two teams, only a half game separate them in the wild card race coming into today's play. This 4-game series vital for both of these ball clubs. Not the end all, but vital. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And got him. There's that pitch that eats up the right-handers. What an inning for CC Sabathia. The leadoff double, an intentional pass, then he strikes the side out. 3-1 O's. Miguel Gonzalez on the mound against Ivan Nova. Our coverage on Masson HD at 6:30. O's Extra presented by Geico, followed by our game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson.
So Nova, who shut out the Orioles a complete game, a week ago Saturday, and then Miguel Gonzalez, he pitched against the Yankees, had the 1 bad inning, but then came back against the White Sox and was terrific. So 2 righties, and Nova get ready to hit the curveball. Struggled against the Red Sox, threw a bunch of pitches, 100 and some pitches, 90 some pitches, I think, in 4 innings.
117.
Ooh.
There is Chris Dickerson, who's come on to play in left field. Morse out of the ball game, a defensive replacement for the Orioles as we go to the 7th. It will be an 87 pitch count for Chris Tillman, who's walked none and has struck out 6. And Soriano will lead it off. Granderson and Nunez to follow. Soriano is struck out, grounded out, and will take the fastball away. The Orioles, coming into this ball game for the month of September, were tied for 7th in runs in the American League, 2nd though in home runs. Orioles had 15, the Red Sox 19 this month. Maybe the surprise of all, the Orioles ERA is 3rd best in the American League in September at 2.92. Well, that has really picked up here this month, and we're at the 9th day of September 13. Chen on the left there. Scott Feldman on the right.
Yeah, he pitched well against the White Sox and Feldman the complete game on Friday.
Yankees are 2nd in runs, but tied for the fewest home runs this month. They've had only 2 home runs, but they've scored 53 runs, most of those coming in the losses to the Red Sox, and their ERA is dead last, 6.66 in September. That one is foul back, and a lot of that has to do with what Jim was talking about earlier with that devastated bullpen. 2-2. Sabathia with the jacket on. He'll be coming back out.
No, he's not leaving. Not in this type of game.
2-2 delivery, fastball. Tillman up high with it.
Well, that after the leadoff double, what he was able to do by striking out the side is you get a guy on, time runs coming to the plate, and that's huge. Chris Tillman certainly would have liked to have had another run to work with.
3-2 delivery on the way, and he's able to get the strike. That's another K, 7 in the ball game.
And he does it 3-2. Now, you don't know what's coming because he's used all his pitches, but this is 93. And this is getting himself in shape, dedicating the last 2 winners with Brady Anderson to become highly conditioned, changing his windup. He's become one of the best pitchers of the American League. And, you know, Scherzer's had a great year, but right behind him is Chris Tillman. And his stuff, the quality of his pitches is getting better and better with each start.
His career high in strikeouts, career high is 9, which he has done on a couple of occasions against the Giants and Oakland. And did he go around to check at third? Nope. So 1 away in the 7th inning. Granderson, he has popped out twice, hitting into the shift. Casillas waiting again in shallow right field to see if he gets another. 2-0 count. And that is there. Inside corner and low. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
And Chris's last 6 games, let's see, 2-1, 4-2, 2-4, 1-1, 3-2, 0-4. A lot of close games.
And a chopper that's going to be foul, so he comes right back on him and gets a count to 2-2.
And believe it or not, that's the way you learn how to pitch. Where every pitch means something. Early on, 6-0 in June. A lot of runs. Early in the year, getting close to 7 runs a game, so maybe game's a little bit easier than as of late.
And that ball is going to be fouled back against the Yankees. His first outing, he had 6 strikeouts. Second outing, he had 3. He got 7 in this one. Pitched against the Yankees back in back-to-back starts in June and July. 1-1 the first one, lost the second. 2-2 delivery on the way, and again he gets it in there for the strikeout, and he's got 8 in the game.
Yeah, he just buzzes another fastball. And it's a great pitch inside third of the plate. A little bit of extra. Great location, nice little lift. You could see the 4-seam. That's when you throw the ball with 4 seams, and if you pull down, that's how you backspin it, and that's how you get it sometimes the ball to just jump a little bit.
13 in a row retired by Tillman. Nunez a strikeout, and he is grounded out. Tillman after number 16 in the W column here in this ball game. 1-0 count, 2 away. Yankees have not been able to touch him of late and foul back.
Yeah. For Eduardo Nunez, he hit a rocket back up the middle on a fastball. The next time a curveball, a little bouncer. Now changeups here in the 7th inning.
Gardner got a single off him in the 3rd with 1 away. That's the last hit and the last Yankee base runner. 1 ball, 1 strike count, and Nunez will ask for the timeout. Yankees coming off a victory to avoid the sweep of the Red Sox, but they have not won back-to-back games since the All-Star break. And that's fouled back over the screen. 1-2. 2 managers fighting for their team's lives to get to the postseason. Going to be tough for both. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Crowd tonight is 17,456, 17,456. Seeing a heck of a ball game. They joined us late, a little set too early. The 2 managers had a little shouting match down behind home plate between innings. That has settled down. Nothing since. Chopper caught him as he tried to get out of the batter's box. It'll stay at 1-2. And you can understand the intensity for both. Big time. And the Orioles' expectations after getting there last year, and of course it was the Yankees that took them out of the postseason. The division series last year went 5. Yankees won it 3-2, and CC Sabathia won 2 games. He won the first one, and he won the 5th one. And Sabathia on the mound here again tonight, trying to kick this series off for the Yankees.
Nunez is getting everything thrown at him. Changeups and curveballs. I would imagine that this might be a hook right here.
1-2 delivery on the way. And it bounces. Though we're going to have our 8th pitch of this at bat coming to Nunez. Up to 106 pitches now thrown by Tillman.
And all he wants to do is somehow get on base with his Overbay with 13 home runs. He's waiting on deck.
Here's the 2-2. And he got him. Strikes the side out. 14 in a row retired by Tillman. He has equaled his career high with 9 strikeouts. 7th inning stretch time. Camden Yards. Orioles up. And the Orioles, Chris Tillman has been on again in this game. And for the Orioles, they manufactured 3 runs in this ball game, doing everything right. It heated up early between innings with the 2 managers, and it has stayed heated. And you can expect it to stay that way for the remaining games. Orioles up by 2. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you here. Jim, all season long, the Orioles have wanted one of their pitchers come forward and be that guy. It looks like Tillman's.
Well, he's been that guy pretty much ever since June when he went 6-0. And you know, the one thing I'm seeing tonight is, it's easier to pitch when you get 5 or 6 runs. The kind of stuff he's put on has been exceptional tonight. And what you also like is, for all the fans watching, they did get a hit with runners in scoring position. So again, we say that jokingly because they've been getting a lot of guys on, but the bottom line tonight, they did manufacture some runs. Garcia is playing because he's got good numbers. He gets a little infield hit, steals a base. They get another run on another sacrifice fly. So it's to this point, and again, it's a 9-inning ball game. They've been very, very good.
Matt Waiters leading it off. He's grounded out at a sacrifice fly. Garcia and then Markakis will follow as we're in the bottom half of the 7th inning of the ball game. 3-1 with the Orioles on top. Yankees have had only 3 hits in the ball game. Orioles have had 6. And Waiters will take the pitch away. Sabathia trying to work his way through this inning. You would believe it would probably be his last. He's going to go over the 100 pitch count as well, but that's not unusual for him.
As you mentioned, he won a couple of playoff games against the Orioles, so he's their #1 guy, and Tillman has really become a #1 pitcher for the Orioles. And they're looking for it. There's ball 4.
He got it. So Matt Waiters draws the leadoff walk. One of the things Buckshowalter was talking about before the game tonight, Jim, was that he thought maybe the guys grounded out actually a little too hard, wanted them to relax a little bit, enjoy it a little more. You get more done if you do it that way.
You try to. I mean, grip pressure. When you're throwing a baseball, when you get the grip, that's when the ball slips out of your hands and the ball doesn't move. Same thing with hitting. The Hall of Fame once, I'm sitting across from Billy Williams, and they're talking about Ernie Banks, and he used to have his hands like he was playing the flute or something like that. So he was relaxed. You remember Cal Ripken used to always kind of take a breath before he would swing, things like that. So
Sabathia's got it. Can they get 2? He throws it off the mark, and he could not get back to the bag. So Sabathia hurts his own cause with an error. After the walk to Wieters, a misplay on what should have been an out at second.
Yeah, this looks like it's routine, and it should be, but look where he stands. See, a lot of times you do this in spring training, you have to be very careful because you're throwing uphill or downhill or on a side angle. And again, when he steps, and it looked to me, he actually threw into the slope of the mound. He drops his arm, the ball runs a little bit, and all of a sudden, not only do you walk somebody, you get a force out, kind of what you wanted, and now all of a sudden the Orioles are in business.
And the first two on with Nick Markakis coming up. Here's our Alexis of Towson drive of the game.
Well, that's the clutch hits we were talking about, and that will get Casilla in, who had actually hit a ball by Rodriguez, stole a base, and then to get that extra run to make it 3-1. Huge for Chris Tillman and the Orioles.
Our drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the Baltimore's area's #1 Lexus dealer. Come see why at LexusofTowson.com. 2 on, playing for the bunt in the infield, and the pitch will be taken by Markakis. Nick's already 3 for 3. A double, 2 singles, a run scored, and an RBI for Nick Markakis. Now the Yankees playing bunt. There's Adam Warren in the bullpen, but as you mentioned the other night, Markakis does not bunt, sacrifice or otherwise. Just hasn't done it. And he will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. 1-1 the count on Markakis. Nick's got a lot of room in the infield here, the way they're playing this, to punch a ground ball through.
Well, they come in, and you can watch Cano. I mean, look how shallow he is, because he would like to turn a double play. And sometimes it works. If it's hit at him, and he's got great range, he's a Gold Glover.
1-1 delivery, ground ball. That's going to go right to short. Nunez, 1, relay, Cano. I thought Nunez was going to throw that ball somewhere else. I don't know. He came up as though he's going to do something else with it. They get the out. There's the double play. Wieters goes over to third.
Yeah, maybe for a moment. I mean, this tailor-made. All you got to do is catch it. It goes right through the leg of Matt Wieters. And then pretty routine 6-4 to 3.
There's a big double play ball. Markakis hadn't bunted since 07 for a sacrifice. So Nunez plays out at short, gets the out. Big double play.
Probably the proper play, but if you're Buck Showalter, you got to know your guys, and if you've never seen them bunt, why ask them to do something that maybe they should be able to do, but you don't know if they can.
Manny Machado, runner on at third base, down the line at foul. Machado sacrificed first inning. He is struck out and flied out for the Orioles, and the Orioles bullpen is going to get active as well in this 3-1 ball game with Tommy Hunter up. Manny Machado leading the league in doubles, second in hits, 8th in runs, coming into the ball game tonight. 0-1 delivery to him in the air to right field. Ichiro going back, running track wall, right off the top of it. He's going on to second base. Wieters has scored. It's another double. And a 2-out RBI for Manny Machado, and the Orioles have a 4-1 lead.
A lot of big hits tonight. Sacrifice flies, 2-out base hits, 2-out doubles. And they do it against a real tough competitor. Fastball middle of the plate. Once again, very much like the Adam Jones double. And it's just a matter of how far it's going to go. Ichiro turns around right away. And meanwhile, Manny's on his way for another double. Thinking about going to third, but with 2 outs, no.
So Machado, it's his 49th Major League leading 2-bagger, and he's on at second base. Another big hit after that double play. Now Adam Jones. Orioles 4 runs on 7 hits in the ball game. Machado staring right down to third at the guy he's chasing for one of his marks, and that's the most doubles for a player age 20 or younger. A-Rod holds the record at 54. Manny's got 49. They're in close physical contact right now, as well as close in doubles. Jones with the 0-1 count, 2 away. Jones a double his last time up. He's 1 for 2 and a sacrifice RBI. That is foul. There you see the numbers. The most doubles by a player 20 or younger at the start of the season. A-Rod in 96 with the mark.
And Johnny Bench. That's a lot of doubles.
Passed some pretty good names there.
Yeah.
Vincent Williams. 2 third basemen in the majors. One on his way out and the other on his way in. Here's the 0-2 delivery. And Jones will foul it off. That caught a piece of Romine. That'll bring Sabathia in.
Yeah, Hickox goes out to talk to him. Home plate umpire, he knows what it feels like. Into the protective cup area, which
Chris Stewart, as you mentioned, is out. The Yankees do have a really fine young catcher in J.R. Murphy, who is here, and in fact, a name you might want to remember, because J.R. Murphy's got a shot at being the Yankee catcher of the future.
Yeah, it was talking to Kenny Singleton. They thought he was a switch hitter, but he stopped switch hitting, so he's only a right-handed batter. But early on in his career, I said obviously he's been watching Shane Victorino play.
Who refuses to give up the switch hitting, if only to keep the other team guessing. 0-2 pitch, bounces away. That'll move the runner up. So Machado will go over to third base.
Well, you know, he almost had an interference because A-Rod didn't get out of the way, and he's kind of laughing at him. But if you come around, and we saw Manny get interference, but again, and the ball doesn't go that far. But watch Manny come around third. He's going to come in here. See, now A-Rod's not paying attention and almost strips him. Now, I don't know if they would have called that, but we saw that happen before, and there was really no intention of the runner going. He just impeded somebody.
It is the obligation of the defender to get out of the way. 1-2 delivery on the way, and the fastball up high. CC trying to rear back and find a little. 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 down.
Yeah, they had put the pressure on him by getting a great performance by Chris Tillman, and then just having quality at bats. I mean, the doubles and the sacrifice flies and hitting the ball to all fields, the way you have to attack good pitchers.
7th wild pitch by Sabathia on the season, moving the runner up. Here's the 2-2 delivery to Jones, and a swing and a miss on one away. Sabathia will get his 6th strikeout, but the Orioles get a big 2-out double picked up by Manny Machado for a 4-1 lead. Down to those precious few. Our September song, Kansas City, Cleveland. The Indians lead the season series 8-5. Royals remaining schedule 12 against Detroit, Cleveland, Texas. KC's got a shot at it. Pittsburgh, Texas. Rangers have lost 3 straight games. The Pirates have lost 4 straight. Somebody's got to win. And Chicago, Cincinnati. The Reds trail the Cardinals now by just 1.5 games in the National League Central. The Reds, for the first time since June 20. Have moved into that second spot in the Central.
And you know how they did it? They beat the Dodgers in Cincinnati, one of the hotter teams in the National League. It's 3 in a row for the first time since 1992.
You just never know. No. Here's Lyle Overbay. 7th inning run is unearned on that error of Sabathia that extended the inning, and the Orioles took advantage of it. And the Orioles now have a 4-1 lead as we go to the 8th. Overbay has popped out. Suzuki and then Romine coming up. 14 in a row, retired by Tillman. He's not walked anybody. As good on the Yankees, only 3 hits in the ball game. A-Rod's homer in the first. Nunez single in the second inning, and a third inning single to Gardner. While Sabathia's not had the run support. Up in the air, deep to right field. It is way back. That'll break the stain. Goodbye, home run. Lyle Overbay. And the Yankees make it a 4-2 ball game.
Yeah, a lot of change-ups. That'll get Buck Showalter on the phone, but a lot of change-ups, and that's fine. That's the way he started them off. But when you get through the third time, and the guy's got a little bit of power. And watch this hanging changeup. You can see him kind of turn it over a little bit, but it ends up in the middle of the plate. And well, he skies it. And again, a pretty good hitting ballpark here.
So that's it for Tillman, but a great performance. He goes 7 innings plus, surrenders the 2 earned runs on just 4 hits, and the Oriole fans will give him the ovation as he leaves. The ballpark.
Yeah, he was pretty special tonight. I'd be disappointed because I had the first to tell you it's tomorrow. He wasn't tired. But he had the curveball going, fastball going, changeup going. Alex Rodriguez hits a home run on a fastball, and then the Overbay with the changeup here in the 8th inning. But the stuff was really crisp tonight. Made great pitches, used his pitches well, and now it's up to the bullpen. Tommy Hunter will come in. Last pitched on Saturday. Got the win. He got his 4th win. So he's done a nice job for the Orioles this year. Doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. Lefties hit him better than righties. All the home runs, 9 of them, are left-handed batters, but right-handers. You can see 122, and nobody has gone out of the yard yet.
So Tommy Hunter works, and Ichiro goes after it. 0 for 2 in the ball game. Nobody out. 8th inning, a run in. Now a 4-2 game. Tillman will be watching intently, obviously, for the remainder of this game. And the 0-1 pitch to Ichiro, and that one's going to be fouled right straight back.
Well, Tommy with a fastball, you can see 96. Maybe get it close to 100 on occasion. Cutter, curveball, slider. Gave up the home run on Saturday on a 3-2 slider.
Suzuki 9 for 25 against him. Will take the pitch up high for a ball. He has struck out once in this ball game, but Ichiro comes in as the 9th most difficult hitter to strike out in the league. Nick Markakis is 10th. 1-2 pitch to him. He got him under the K.
Yeah, there's the cut fastball at 93. Look at the movement on this pitch. And again, he locates it so well right on the inside corner. The home run that Gillespie hit, 3-2, was in the middle of the plate. But this time, well, that's 2 tonight that have been fouled off right into the glove of Matt Wieters.
And we will get a pinch hitter for Romine. Zolio Almonte, a backup outfielder. We hope Romine is all right. The catcher coming out for a pinch hitter, whether that's because of the injury or just trying to get the lefty in. Not sure.
I think they just want somebody on, and you can see Almonte's had some at-bats at the major league level.
Almonte fouls it back. He was just reinstated today. Missed 45 games on the DL. Sprained left ankle. Rehabbed at Double-A Trenton before getting back. Made his major league debut in June of this year. Played 68 games at Triple-A. So Almonte at the plate. He's actually faced Hunter 0 for 2. And the pitch right there. And Tommy Harry coming on and wasting no time. 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, a little bit of gas right in the middle of the plate, and it freezes him. Pretty much right down the middle, but he didn't even take the bat off his shoulder.
And here's the top of the order, and Gardner. Tommy Hunter's 6th game against the Yankees this year. He's given up no runs, 4 hits, and 6 2/3 innings. He hasn't walked anybody, and he struck out 7. He's been outstanding overall, and particularly against the Yankees. Gardner will take it, 1 for 3 with a single.
And there are not a whole lot of guys that have better stuff than Tommy. Coming up out of the bullpen as setup guys hold the lead.
Gardner watches it. It's in there. Gardner just 1 for 12 off Hunter. Tillman. Oriole starter watching. Right now, Hunter can't wait to throw it back. So Gardner's standing out of the batter's box, trying to slow him down. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
That was try to hit triple digits, 98 up in the zone.
Orioles 4 on 7 hits. The Yankees 2 on 4 hits. 1-2. That's that. Wow. Gardner upset with the home plate umpire, lashing away at him verbally, but Tommy Hunter gets the job done as he comes on and strikes out the side. Orioles 4, Yankees 2. Support a great cause and save with the American Heart Association's exclusive 50% off ticket offer, which now includes the upcoming Blue Jays series, September 24th through the 26th. Go to Orioles.com/AHA and receive 50% off tickets simply by donating $10 to the American Heart Association for each ticket purchase. That's half price and it goes to charity. Just go to Orioles.com/AHA. Tommy Hunter coming on to replace the Tillman, struck the side out.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, he can. Tommy can command the strike zone, and I think that last pitch to Gardner started a 3-2 fastball he thought was low. He struck out in the first, and that ball appeared to be off the corner. But Ed Hickok's, the guy that counts, called it a strike.
Here is Chris Davis, and Davis will take it to center field. Gardner's got room and makes the catch.
So
Orioles batting, bottom half of the 8th inning. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates. 3-hit ball game RBI, run scored for Nick Markakis. Chris Tillman, 2 runs, 4 hits over 7, a chance to win his 16th. And for Manny Machado in the ball game, big RBI, double and a sacrifice. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 318-26. That'll be it. So Sabathia is going to leave and will not have a chance to win this ball game. Orioles trying to go 2-2 against him this year and defeat him for just the 6th time ever. To the Y of Central Maryland's Fit and Fun program. 362 walks for a total of $18,100. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. So Sabathia leaves and stayed in as long as he could.
Pretty gutsy performance, and that's what he does. That's why he's almost 100 games over the losses in his career. So he keeps him in the ball game. Adam Warren will come on. It'll be his 28th appearance. 2009, their 4th-round draft choice starter. He's been up and down this year. This year at Scranton, 7 and 8, and he's been there the last 3 years. So there are the numbers. Lefties, you can see, hit them well. They also hit the home runs.
And the Orioles will pinch hit here with Warren coming on as Brian Roberts will hit for Valencia. Valencia had an 0-for-3 in the ball game, and Brian enters here in the DH role. And Warren with one away, nobody on, delivers, and Roberts will take the pitch down low for a ball. We told you about Murphy, the backup catcher, so he's come on. Aaron Murphy will do the catching for the Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Orioles 3 outs away from getting game 1 of this 4-game set. And the pitch outside for a ball. Warren has pitched in only 1 game against the Orioles. Worked 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 strikeouts. 2-0 delivery on the way. Roberts will take it in the air to left field. He got a lot of it going back near the warning track with some room. Put away by Soriano. Roberts retired, 2 down in the 8th. Fan Appreciation Week begins on Tuesday, September 24, when the O's begin the final homestand of the regular season against the Blue Jays and Red Sox. And the week will be capped off on Sunday, September 29, when the first 25,000 fans, 15 and over, receive a Chris Davis AT&T Fans Choice bobblehead. So buckle back up, get your tickets, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. 2 down, nobody on. Here's Hardy. And he'll take it outside for a ball. A double, intentional pass lined out. Jim Johnson, safe situation, getting ready in the bullpen. And by that shot, he is ready in the bullpen. Here's the 1-0 delivery to short, played by Nunez short hop. Hardy's retired. So why don't we all rebuckle? Just place that clasp inside till you hear the click. Tighten slightly around your waist. Prepare thyself. Jim Johnson on for the save. On Masson is brought to you by Antwerpen Toyota. Come to Antwerpen and take the Yes test today. Visit any Antwerpen dealership and find out if you pass. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer here at Camden Yards as the Orioles 3 outs away from putting the ball game away. They've got the 4-2 lead. Tillman could be the winner. Sabathia the loser if it stays that way. And Jim Johnson after his save.
Yep, trying to make it 43. That 42 is the best in the American League. Mariano Rivera at 41, Greg Holland of the Royals at 40, and then Joe Nathan of the Texas Rangers at 39. And the Yankees, Orioles have who they want in the ball game, and the Yankees have 2, 3, 4 coming up, middle of their lineup.
So Jim Johnson ready to go in the 9th inning as Rodriguez a home run. He has struck out, and he has grounded out. Will lead it off for the Yankees. For Johnson this year against the Yankees, he's had a win, a loss, and 3 for 5 in saves. He's given up 2 runs, 5 hits, and 5 1/3 innings against the Yankees. Couple of walks and 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, it seems it starts with Jim, number one, get ahead, but get the first batter out if you can. And boy, there's the good sinker that can't hit anything but the bottom of the ball. And A-Rod fouls it down at his feet.
A-Rod is 3 for 16 lifetime off the Oriole closer. Orioles 2 games behind that final wild card spot. 1-1 delivery on the way. Tampa Bay is off tonight. They will open their series against the Red Sox tomorrow. So if the Orioles, here's a chance in this ball game to make it a 1.5 differential with Tampa Bay holding that second wild card spot right now. And a swing and a miss and a good pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, I think Jimmy has been trying to find that, sometimes when you try a little bit easier, the ball sinks. He was talking about the fact that, you overthrow a little bit, the ball sinks so early that the hitter actually sees it. And at this level, that will cause problems. Well, boy, that was some great late sink in a hitter's count.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way to him, and that's going to be inside. Orioles, they've got to make up ground against the East because the only games left. With 20 to go, including this one against Eastern Division opponents. Orioles trying to get back to 500 against the East. 4 against the Yankees here. 3-2. A-Rod, base hit up the middle. And the Yankees got what they needed from Rodriguez. It'll bring the potential tying run to the plate.
And they'll probably pinch run for him, too, I would imagine.
Let's update you on the voting for our AT&T Player of the Game. Chris Tillman on top right now. Still time to text in your vote. A, B, or C. 31826 results in the O's Extra post-game show.
But maybe with the Jeter not being able to play tonight, or only with an emergency, maybe they won't pinch run. But that's somewhat of a break, even though it's only the third run. Able to break up the double play a little bit better.
They're really short of players. Yeah. David Adams would be the next infielder who could play. Cano, they got a chance for two. There's Hardy. There's one. Oh, he threw it away. Casilla froze on the pivot and just threw it away. And the Orioles will not get the double play.
Yeah, pretty tailor-made until you just get a little bit tight. I mean, able to clear the runner really quickly. I mean, you can't even see A-Rod in the picture. He gets out of the way. So it's just a matter of making a good throw, and he didn't.
There's no error charged on that when you have a double play, but it's a play not made. Fielder's choice for Cano. One down, A-Rod taken out in the force play. And the ever-dangerous Soriano. He is 0 for 3 in this ball game, but he's got home run power.
At all fields.
And trying to get one right there as he fouls it off.
Yeah, he's such a good, I mean, you get out over the plate, and we've seen a number of balls hit off. You know, A-Rod hit it to the left of the scoreboard for a home run. And we've seen Machado, Adam Jones hit balls the other way. Hit a home run off Gonzalez on a slider in Yankee Stadium to right center.
Soriano with no at-bats against Johnson in the regular season. Orioles lead by 2. 9th inning, 1 down. Here's the 0-1. Uppercut foul back, 0-2.
Yeah, there's the good sinker. Yeah, the ball that Rodriguez got to hit, when you go to 3-2, it's harder to make a quality pitch. Didn't want to walk anybody. But since then, the ball is sinking with vigor.
And a ground ball played by Casilla. There's one. Hardy the relay. Not in time. And the Yankees extend it again. 2 down.
Well, imagine you don't make a good throw and then the next ball's hit at you. And it wasn't an easy play because you want to come get it, but you can see the little bit of a short hop. But it's nicely turned and then bang, bang. Soriano has very good speed and just able to keep the inning alive for the Yankees.
So Soriano's on at first base with 2 down. And here is Curtis Granderson. Granderson 1 for 10, lifetime off Jim Johnson. 1 out away for the Orioles. 1 big fly away for the Yankees. Vernon Wells in the on-deck circle if they get there. There are 2 down. And the pitch will be inside for a ball.
Yeah, in a normal year, that's exactly what Granderson can bring to the table. Well, we mentioned 43, 41 the last 2 years with home runs when he's healthy.
And takes again. That will miss. 2-0. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. You like to do those quick ones.
Well, when the game is like this, yes.
Here's the 2-0 delivery and pulled the string on him a little bit.
Well, Matt Wieters and Jimmy Johnson, let's go get the black uniforms and become a cat burglar because that takes some guts right there. You got to trust your stuff. What a great pitch that was.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Runner off first. And that's in. Man up. 3-1. Jim Johnson with another fastball. 14 pitches thrown so far. The tension of the final 20 games and the chase for the postseason evident in this one. 3-1. Granderson, a ground ball foul. 3-2.
Another changeup. Well, that's kind of respect for Curtis Granderson. Hey, just, you know, he's a good fastball hitter. You know he's a good fastball hitter down, and you know he's a pull hitter.
Runner will go. 3-2, 2 outs. Granderson lifts it in the air. Center field. Jones going back at the wall. He's got it, and the Orioles win. A 4-2 victory over the Yankees in Game 1. Tillman 16-5, Sabathia 13-12, and Jim Johnson comes away with a save for the O's, and they gain ground in that chase for the wild card. 4-7-0 for the Orioles, 2-5-1 for the Yankees.